how you doing? I just want to talk to you a little bit about fencing, goat fencing. Uh, they say if your fence can't hold water, it's not going to hold a goat. Uh, that's pretty much true. We first started, we had this place set up behind me here. We use the woven wire now, if you can see over my shoulder here. But before we got the woven wire, we had just 4 strands of hot fence. We were set up to do cows. That was the initial plan, was we were going to raise a couple of cows to put in the freezer, and that was it. Well, then over time we just kind of grew and transitioned into the goats, and we enjoyed the goats more than the cows, and the cows went and the goats came, and well, you can't just have one goat. So the first goat we got, Juliet, there she is right there, that black Nubian doe there. We got her, made a rookie mistake, put her by herself. Goats are a herding animal. You definitely don't want to go by itself. You put a goat by itself, bad news. You put a goat by itself inside of 4 strands of hot wire, you got really bad news. So we got her, and I watched her run from one end of this pasture down to the next, run back, come back, and then it looked like a scene from The Matrix. She jumped, turned sideways, and went right through that hot wire. Down the road she went. I mean, we live in the middle of nowhere, Ohio, and there's a creek that wraps around the house, and she jumped, and it's a good 6-foot drop down to the creek, and I seen her jump, and she went down, and I didn't see her come up. And I thought, oh, this cannot be good. So I went down. She was okay. She was just tired, scared, muddy, wet. Got her back, got her up to the house, put her back in, and I thought, well, you know what, I'll just run 3 more strands of this hot wire, put it around, kind of fill the gaps. So I did that, and lo and behold, she turned on her side and crawled underneath. The whole time fence is shocking her, and about the time it hit the interval where it jolted and got her, it was like it smacked her in the hind end and jump started her, and down the road she went. Luckily, the next day, I think it was 2 days later, I got a phone call from a friend that said, hey, I found your goat. I think she's tied up to my neighbor's tree. This is 4 miles up the road. I found her tied to this lady's tree. Go up, got her back. Lesson learned. I had a smaller dog kennel. We stuck her in that overnight. Quickly got another pygmy goat just for a companion. Threw her in there with the pygmy. The next day, went and got the woven wire. There's a lot of different types of fencing you can use. You can use panel. You can use the woven wire. They actually make a goat and sheep fencing. You can use that, but it's kind of high. It's a little more expensive. To me, it's ideal, but the woven wire is not much different. It's just, you know, the squares in it. You know, if you can see the squares here in that woven wire, they're just a little bigger than the goat and sheep fencing. The cattle panels, depending on how big your pasture is, that's going to get expensive quick. Here they sell for $20 a piece at our local farm store. I got lucky on the woven wire. We're pretty much limited to Rural King and Tractor Supply. So I went to our local Tractor Supply, priced the wire. They have some kind of rewards program. So I got a seasonal reward with some money off for that. It was like 25%, I think it was. So I got that, and I called Rural King to see how much it was. And I can't remember the exact price, but I want to say it was a little under $200 for around 300 feet, 330 feet, I think. So Tractor Supply price matched. They price matched, took it off. So I ended up getting this roll of woven wire for right around $100. And I came home, had a friend come in, hooked it up, stretched it out, drove our T-post. It was just a few hours. We had it set up and ready to go. Now, the problem with woven wire is if you have goats that still have horns, they're going to get stuck. It's just a matter of time. I don't know what it is. These goats will get stuck once, and it seems like once they're stuck once, they'll do it again and again and again and again and again. There's so many different ways you can prevent that too. There's I've seen videos on YouTube of people running PVC pipe across their horns and then taping it up, and it looks kind of silly, but you know what, it worked. They didn't get stuck. Now I had the charger from the hot fence and some high tensile, so I ran a strand around the top, and then I also ran a strand about a foot or so up from the bottom, maybe closer to 2 feet. And I have not had any problems with goats getting stuck in fence after that hot wire was ran. They sniff around. You know, goats are a curious animal. They get zapped once, that's pretty much it. If you get one that is a little hard-headed, yeah, he can push through that fence. I mean, it's going to shock him, but it's not going to hurt him. And you know, we've got one that he's tested it a couple of times. Let's walk over here and I'll show him to you. That guy right there. Right there. He's a big pain in my butt. Beautiful red boar. But he's a pain in my butt. So, cost of fencing? I think it was about $100 for the woven wire. I still had some left over. The gate, if you buy a gate, I bought a 16-foot gate. That was, I want to say $120. That was probably the biggest one item expense there is or was to a fence. T-posts aren't bad. They're $3, $4 a piece. I want to say the wooden corner posts, 8 foot by 4 inch, I believe they are. They aren't too bad. What's wrong, Bruce? We got Bruce here. He's our yellow lab mix. I think he wants to be in the video. So yeah, altogether, I think I had maybe $400 in fencing. Fencing can be expensive. Fencing will probably be your most expensive item when you start getting into the goats, minus the goats. Some of the goats can be pretty high too. But all in all, it wasn't bad. Like I said, we had the experience with the high tensile. I've had some in panels too. The panels weren't bad. The only issue with the panels were, we had a panel that we used for a gate and a temporary lot. And if you take a big goat, like the red buck that I just showed you, Smooch, that's what his name is. We call him Smooch. He likes to jump on fencing, climb up it. And that's where that little, where'd it go? Right up there, that yellow thing there, that's that bracket on that T-post, that's holding that hot wire. That's where that hot wire comes into play. Keep that there, one on top. The goats get zapped one time, they don't want to mess with it. Typically they don't want to mess with it anymore. Now the panels, he climbed up it, continuously climbed up it until he completely buckled this thing and folded it in half. He was destructive. And he wasn't by himself. And I know people say you keep a buck by themselves, they're going to be destructive. He was not by himself. He was with other goats. Other than that, I like panels. Panels aren't a bad decision. They just, like I said, they get expensive. But the best thing that we have found is the woven wire with the strand of hot wire on top, strand of hot wire on the bottom. So, I guess if you're into the goats, what kind of fencing do you use? Do you use the woven wire? Does it work best for you, or do you use hot wire? We actually have we live in a big Amish community, and there's some Amish up the road that actually use high tensile fence to hold their goats in, and they typically don't have any problem. I don't know if I just had bad luck or what, but I guarantee you, if I put goats in a high tensile fence, they're coming through it. So yeah, what kind of fencing do you prefer? Do you like the panels? Do you like the woven wire? Let us know in the comments. So yeah, that's pretty much all I got, guys. So don't forget to hit that subscribe button, the like button. We really appreciate having you guys around, and hopefully you'll be seeing a lot more from us, and hope to hear from you guys soon. See you guys on the next go around. Bye.